On board this nice passenger ship and for the little tour through the Hamburg port, but of course this is just the platform. I've been informed that only a couple of people will come a little bit later, so at least the majority of our guests which have registered for the workshop are already here, so we get started because otherwise we will have a slight delay and we have to be back at 12 o'clock sharp. Welcome to workshop number 2. It will consist out of, let's say, 3 main segments. The first one is a presentation which I will help myself. It's about the dynamic voyage optimization and collaborative route planning. The second one is then done by Siemens Energy, and the title is, of course, you can read it, Digital Marine Solutions and Services by Mr. Patrick Müller. And as the third part, we have some demonstrations, and of course we will have a question and answer session as part of this presentations. So my name is Ralf Lehnert. I'm an employee of Chartworld, and I'm responsible there for what we call the navigational solutions. That means I'm responsible for the products in regards to ECDIS, the ECDIS kernel, and as well for the chart server inside the group. And I would talk about today about the dynamic route optimization and collaborative voyage planning. We as a company, we have seen and we have created a vision that we believe that the collaborative voyage planning is the ultimate goal which we should aim as an entire industry on that. I will explain a little bit in detail what's all about. But let's have a look first on the voyage plan itself. Of course, if you look to the basics of voyage planning, it's always divided into 4 main segments. You have always the voyage appraisal or the route appraisal, where you collect and assess all relevant information which you need for the intended voyage. Then, of course, you have the planning itself, the developing and approving a passage plan based on the information you have done via the appraisal of all the relevant information. Then, of course, you have the execution of the voyage plan itself, so briefing the bridge team on the passage plan and navigating the ship in accordance to the plan. And then, of course, you have the monitoring phase, checking the progress of the ship against the passage plan. All this stuff needs to be done under the certain requirements, and the requirements are quite simple. It's compliance in regards to legislative and in regards to all the surrounding, let's say, conditions. The voyage should be efficient, that's very important, but first and foremost, the voyage needs to be safe. Yeah, and this is, of course, always the basis for the intended voyages on the ships. If you look to the stakeholders of the voyage plan, you see a majority or a variety of different interests in the voyage planning itself and the results of the voyage plan. First of all, of course, you have the ship owner who has always an interest that the ship will arrive on a safe manner. Then you may have a ship manager in between, which is taking care on the asset of the ship owner for the time and under the budget constraints or conditions which has been agreed. Then, of course, you have the cargo owner who has an interest that his goods are arriving safe and in time. Then you have the charterer who is taking care, who's connecting the cargo together with the ships itself. Then you have the ship agent, you have the ports, you have the insurances, which may have an interest, especially when it's come to an incident investigation. Then, of course, you have still the crewing issue. That means the manning of the ship, which is related to training and the bridge procedures. And you have the authorities which are controlling the compliances of let's say, the safety management system, which is port state control. And, of course, you have finally also the claim management, which is let's say, an industry almost by itself where the disputes are to be regulated in regards to the original planned voyages and the finally executed ones. So what I mentioned in the beginning, we can see from the variety and hundreds of discussions which we have with customers and stakeholders that there is a big interest that people are working with the same fundamental data from the day one of the intended voyage. So imagine that all the stakeholders would use and share the same voyage data of the ship, which could then allow a safe, accurate route already when preparing the sailing order. No disputes between the charterer, the operator, and the ship. Accurate tracking of differences between the plan and the executed voyage. And of course, the post-voyage analytics, which can be used with recorded real data to identify the root cause of discrepancies in case of incidences or any kind of disputes. And what can be done as well is georeference benchmarking and KPI dashboards for the improved efficiency and the best practice lessons to be learned. When we're looking into all that, when we're talking about automatic voyage planning, the basis of these automatic voyage planning, of any voyage planning, is of course a navigationable route. And this is always depending on sufficient underkill clearance, the rules of the road, type of cargo or ship, environmental policies to be applied in the area, and of course eventually even seasonal traffic. The optimization of a voyage can only be done between certain route segments, which will allow a certain degree of freedom to maneuver and to alter, for instance, course, speed, and to reflect weather conditions. So the desired workflow for this kind of automatic voyage planning is, of course, a pre-planning and scheduling to generate the sailing order and to select the right ship in for the right cargo and the right timing. The voyage planning itself, the voyage execution, as I stated before, the shoreside voyage monitoring, and of course, the post-voyage analytics. For this, we have come up with a concept which we call the nav cloud to connect all these different workflow steps in one solution. So what I'm showing here looks a little bit complicated, but if you divided it into slices, you can see relatively easy how the workflow is being prepared up. You have the workflow step number 1, which is then the pre-planning. It's scheduling, it's identifying the right vessel, as I mentioned before, and of course is to monitor and to see, let's say, the fleet per itself to select the right ship. So here we have the operation and the marine department on the shore side already involved. And then, of course, we have the ship. The ship is doing the voyage planning itself and is, of course, requesting then or transferring the sailing order into a concrete voyage plan. And then, of course, for the third step, then we have the voyage execution. And we have, as I mentioned before, shoreside voyage monitoring and post-voyage analytics. So the pre-planning, as I stated before, I need to hurry up a little bit because we're a little late. And then, of course, we'll have a more detailed look to the voyage planning per se. I'd like to hand over to Tanita Schneider, who is today acting as a second officer on board here and therefore in charge for the voyage planning like on a real ship. Tatjana, over to you.
Hello, good morning everybody. My name is Tanita Schneider. I'm sales manager for Chartworld. But before, previously, my job was, or I was navigating officer. I was first mate on a cruise ship. And so today I will jump back to my previous occupation and show you how voyage planning can be done in the future automatically and not like I did it before, everything manually and with a lot of administration work. Andere Seite. Nee, anders rumdrehen.
That's real life. Yes.
Okay, so there it is. So here you can see our voyage planning tool, so-called Myra, My Route Appraisal. And you have here the voyage plan dashboard. You can plan always a new voyage for sure. Then you have an active voyage plan. Usually sometimes crew already starts planning a new voyage while they are still underway or do still have a voyage plan activated. You can have up to 5 pending voyages, and then you can also reuse finished voyages from the past. But as I said, I would like to give you an idea how automated voyage planning can be done. So we start with a new voyage, and then you just type in here, for example, a route name, WET1. So, and then we would like to go today from La Coruña, for example. We take the container terminal. Here you can select different berths with the drop-down menu. In case you don't find your berth, you can also insert manually a berthing position, and when you see here berthing position and you tick box it, you get directly also the distance from your port which you entered before. So in case you have a typo, you can see directly the distance if it's more or less matching or if it's too far away. So then we said we would like to go to New York. And we take again the container terminal. Yeah, and as the berth is already now inside, I don't need to insert a berthing position. So then this button, by the way, turns to blue as it's completed. My maximum draft, I say, for example, 6 meters, air draft 25. Then I can choose if my vessel is loaded, if it has dangerous goods on board or not, or if it's in ballast. Why I have to choose this, I think you might know. There are different traffic lanes somewhere in the world which you have to choose when you have dangerous goods on board, and Myra can directly create the route in case you have dangerous goods on board, directly create the route via the appropriate lanes. Just to keep it simple now, I just take loaded. Then I have minimum, or every company sets their own UKC policy for, under key clearance for safety contour settings, or you have even a calculation. So you enter here this data into these fields, for example, 0.5 for berthing, 1 for confined water, 2 for coastal, and 5 for open sea. And a vertical clearance is also needed in case the ship will pass a bridge. Myra can already check if the ship is fitted through the bridge or if you need to take another way. So for a bridge, we would like to have a vertical clearance of 5 meters. We go next. And now you can choose if you would like to have a one-time voyage plan or an on-voyage service. And this is especially for weather routing related to time or fuel optimization. So on-voyage service means you get every 24 hours an updated voyage plan based on your weather optimization. Here below you can enter some limits, for example, wave heights. If you say you have just a little tugboat and you would like to avoid 3 meters wave height, you can directly set your limits, and Myra will directly create a route which will avoid a wave height more than 3 meters. To keep it simple, we make today one-time voyage. So then I can say here estimated time of departure should be, for example, tomorrow at, you can say 8 o'clock UTC. And then I can already enter my planned speed for the river passage. I would say it's 10 knots. Then the planned speed for the sea passage, 16. And now the system will calculate already automatically your estimated time of arrival and gives you already a voyage plan proposal. And as I said, Myra is always looking for the shortest available voyage. If you cross the Atlantic, it's for sure Great Circle. And now you can see here everywhere in this map you see red and green points. These are the so-called wire points. For our route, we don't have any wire point now. But for example, if you have a route now from La Coruña to Mumbai, and maybe a vessel is blocking the Suez Canal, this would be the shortest route, as we know. But in case you cannot pass through the Suez Canal, you can just click here and close this wire point. Then the screen button will turn into red, and directly a route via or around the Cape, which would be the next shortest route. But as I said here, for our route, there are no wire points, so we can go one step ahead. We have here, we can directly, these black buttons are here for the pilot stations. So I just take now this pilot station. Inbound, the same New York pilot station I will choose. And then I get here an overview from the request. By the way, if I forgot something to fill out, then this button here, for example, would be still red, and I can go back and insert the missing data. So now I will confirm the entered data as I fit out everything and send the request. So this is already basically everything I have to do. Then now automatically Myra will send out the request and will send back a voyage plan proposal. For time, I prepared already something for you, like the cooks in TV shows say always. So here you can see, it's actually a ready to say voyage plan. If you would like, you get it in PDF and Excel. If you want to change something, it's also possible. But here I think it's really really nice because time on board is time is always a topic, and here you get all the administrative versions named. Then you can see here in case there's any safety death not according to your settings, you can directly see where you need to maybe assess a waypoint and get all your reporting points written or pilot stations. And then SOLAS, according to SOLAS, you need to prove that you have all active or ENCs on board available for the next voyage or intended voyage. Here you can directly prove that you have all ENCs on board, and what is also really nice, you have all TNPs already listed. As you might know, sometimes the TNPs are already included in the update, sometimes they are included in the ARO, sometimes only preliminary or temporary messages are checked, and I think this is a massive administration work if you need manually go through all these or TNP notices and check if they are inserted or not and where to find the TNP notices. Here you get, doesn't matter if they are included in the ARO or not. So then I said, okay, let's jump back to Myra. Let's see if we have already, no, we didn't receive, here you can see it was sent successfully, but we didn't or haven't received anything yet. So I also prepared already a voyage yesterday. So usually with the connected actors, you directly receive the voyage proposal from Myra and can upload it in your actors. And now we see we have here the route with a great circle, right? So now maybe suddenly the captain says, okay, I would like to go closer to the Azores. So I will adjust the route a little bit. And I have already prepared something again. So maybe... Oh, sorry. So maybe the route will look like this because of weather or whatever reason. And then we have also, as Ralf already mentioned, we have also the office connected. And this is the platform for the office. They can see the initial route. So the initial route is the green one suggested from Myra, and you can also see from the office then the planned route. This is the blue route. The actors route is not yet shown because I have nothing uploaded in my actors. But if I say now, okay, I want to go south of the Azores, for example, now the system will ask me, do you want to send update route to Myra to get the missing data? And maybe the captain says, no, I don't need an update, and maybe the office doesn't need to see that we go south of the Azores. So even if we click now no, and will upload this voyage into the actors, you can see it. You can see it then later on in my fleet. So now I will just upload this route. Okay. So this is now my uploaded route into the actors. And then soon, I mean, I don't know if we can keep it open later or I can show you later, but in more or less 5 minutes, you will see then the actors route. I think everybody can imagine how it will look, and then you have an additional red line. Okay, yeah, and that's it already from the automated voyage planning. So then I think I will hand over to Patrick. Thank you.
First, I have to switch on all this technology on my head. Okay, yes, a warm welcome as well from my side. How would you say in Hamburg? Moin, moin. Yeah, just waiting a couple of minutes, switching the technology. Yeah, may I introduce me myself, Patrick Müller. I'm working for Siemens Marine, Siemens Energy Marine, I have to say. And yeah, the good question, what did Siemens Marine do in perspective of navigation? In the end of the day, more or less nothing. What we typically-wise deliver is things in the engine area, so electrical propulsion system, automation system, etc. And the reason why I'm here today, I would like to present a little bit what we did in the perspective of digitalization and what could be done from the navigational side and the machinery side to get more efforts, more benefits by, let me say, by marriage, both disciplines on board on the vessel. Okay, I start my presentation mostly always with our vision and our mission. Our vision, we would like to be a leading digitalization partner for the marine industry. And what we would like to do, reflected in our mission, we would like to help our customer on their digital journey. First important thing, creating business value. I think all of us are interesting to make money out of our business. And nowadays also the buzzwords decarbonization, sustainable targets are all in our minds, and I think we have all addressed these things, climate change, etc., that we are able to get solutions up and running, which helps us to get the climate like it is, hopefully. Okay, I introduced a little bit our technology, what we are doing, just that you are having a little bit in mind about what technology we are talking. So below we have our lovely small vessel, and what we're doing on board, we are collecting all information in systems which are installed on board on the vessel. This could be automation system, power management system, as well as could be also an active system, so navigation systems, etc. Put all this information into a so-called IoT data lake. So we capture the data on board on the vessel, store them historical-wise, up to 3 years. We do it for, our aim is to do it for all informations we can get from board of a vessel. Reason for that is if you record everything, you can which are dealing with vessel performance, with route optimization, etc., etc. And your work on algorithms like AI technologies, you may not know what you need tomorrow to optimize your vessel. So if you have everything recorded, you cannot miss this information. And that's more or less one of the big advantages in our system, that we always try to collect more than we need initially. You will have a web interface with a lot of application. I show up later in my presentation some examples of that. What is possible with our system. So this is the first interface to the operator. At the end of the day, the decision taker is sitting on board. I know each operator in the headquarters would like to have as well transparency, but decisions will be taken on board on the vessel, and so the crew has to have all necessary information to make proper decisions in perspective of what I said, vessel performance, That's what we are typical-wise doing, or data-driven maintenance of our equipment or third-party equipment on board. But we also connected our systems to cloud systems. This could be a cloud which we are delivering, or it could be also a given cloud infrastructure what you have in your companies. And there we are streaming the necessary data to the fleet management, how we call it, store them there as well in a historical database. We're providing as well external data sources like Chartworld, for example, with their route network. This could be weather information, this could be harbor logistic information. In the end of the day, simple wording, each information which is needed to optimize your business in the end of the day. And here on top, you get as well a lot of applications to get transparency on board, what is real happened on board in real time. And one interesting thing I present later, this is our remote diagnostic system, but again a little bit later. And as well you can use it as well to train or to test if this is a cool thing. Okay, here I steal a picture from Ralf to bring it a little bit back into your mind. Okay, that's the normal procedure how to plan a route from the navigational side. But what is with the machinery side? Is this real taken into account? And I show up some applications and link them to the planning phases and to the execution phases of a route planning to give you a little bit of feeling what we understood under collaborative e-navigation circle. One thing before I start, we are not alone on the world. That's also something which I feel is a little bit unique in the industry. So we are building a so-called digital ecosystem. So we are having a lot of partners. That's here in this graph, a short overview. So we are working with Chartworld, we are working with Atos. It's an IT company, the biggest European IT company, which we're using for our IT backbone. ABS, American Bureau of Shipping, we have integrated a lot of applications from their side. Why we do it? We think nobody is able to optimize the whole business of the marine industry, and we agree that we can do that by ourselves. So we see that we need partners to help and to get the best out of such a system. So the first application I show up here is for the planning. If you marriage route optimization, which is shown below, together with the machinery. So I know there are a lot of clever algorithms to optimize the route, depends on weather conditions, etc. But what I see always is the typical machinery part is, okay, there is a given propulsion scheme. The propulsion power will be given by the route optimization. There is an optimal speed planning, but is this realistic? I don't think so, because if we're looking into the vessels we are dealing with, so the bigger container vessels or cruise liners, in the end of the day you have always a complex plant behind it. So there is not one and only optimal curve. There's a lot of things which you have to act on. And if you're combining now route optimization with machinery optimization, I think you will get out more benefits and more earnings, and you have the aim to operate your voyage more efficient. As well, what we're doing in future, that's still under development, we would like to go in the field of TCE optimization, total cost equivalent, that we are also taking into account the transportation order, the cruise, the fuel things, that you can get a real overarching picture of what is the optimum for my business, and that you got the most TCE out of your transportation order or of your business order you have to perform. So the second thing is during voyage execution, you have to fulfill a lot of regulatory reportings. Here I give some examples that we use our system to calculate more or less exactly. So we will certify such application to calculate the SO2 and CO2 content which is coming out of your funnel. Especially for the scrubber systems. If you have a scrubber on board of your vessel, you have to be always report that you are compliant to the rules and regulations. You can do it with a sensor, but the sensor often fails, and you do not have typical spare parts because the sensor is very costly on board on the vessel. So therefore, we're providing an interim solution to detect the SO2 content without direct measurements. So we use a lot of data measured around the scrubber installation, and we can calculate more or less on 99% accuracy the SO2 content. The same we do with the CO2 content. So we are not measuring that. We are calculating out of a lot of parameters which will be typical-wise measured on board on the vessel to calculate the CO2 content.
Is this accepted by regulatory bodies?
Not yet, but we are under the way. They know that we are doing that, and we are in close contact. Let's cross fingers, yeah. But what we see from our data and from our test installations that we have the accuracy of 99%. So I think it will not replace the real sensor, but it will be as interim solution until you have the new sensor installed. Use it. Next thing is also for voyage execution is our so-called emission tracker. So if you measure something, it's also nice to display this. Here you always see screenshots of our applications. And here is also the link to the colleagues from Chartworld. For sure we can measure the CO2 or SO2 equipment, but what is important, bring this into a relationship of where we are. Are you in the middle of nowhere in the Atlantic, for example, or are you here in Hamburg Harbor? And if you bring this in correlation, you can get as well a lot of automatic reports which you have to present to your flag state or the port authority, and this has to or could be done completely automatically with our system, for example. So what we also have is also a huge task for crew, logbooks, electronic logbooks. I see also many times on vessels, and there are a lot of installations already given. But what they're doing typical-wise is, you have an electronic logbook, but you have to feed your data manually in. So your crew is running around and looking into the different system, use a pencil, put it on the paper, go to the logbook computer, put all the informations in. Here we feed all informations automatically into a logbook. So you have to create, for example, your voyage logbook by hand. You have to enter your voyage number from where to where, and that's it. All the other information will be automatically fed into the log, and you just have to control it push on submit, sign in the end of the day, and then your task is done. So that brings two things. One thing is less workload for your crew, and the second thing is, I know it's now a little bit critical, but no human failures can happen, whatever human failures means. I see you smiling. Okay, I pushed the wrong direction. Yeah, that's in the end of the day a rough overview about what is possible with digitalization if we are matching our machinery view with the view of navigation. And now we have to change a little bit the equipment. Now I would like to present our demonstrator about what we're doing if a crew, or in the end of the day myself, have a problem on board and need help for I don't know what problem I have, then that's my colleague and will demonstrate that. Yeah, imagine we have a problem now on board and we are not able to help ourselves, so we need support. Yeah, please.
You said that the software will generate the reports, right?
Yeah.
So the format will be what? As per the general format or as per the class and the flag?
The second one.
Yeah, the electronic booklet.
Yeah.
Electronic logbook.
Yeah.
Maybe as per the class or a generalized format?
No, this is with the class. This is completely replacing your paper logbook. This is flag approved.
Flag approved. That's the flag format.
That's flag format, yeah. So that's our example for working together with another company. So it's, the logbook is coming from ABS, Nautical System. And we are integrating their application and feeding the information into their logbooks.
There's a possibility of specific company format logbook also can be incorporated.
Yeah, correct. So,
More questions?
yeah, more questions, 5 minutes. So what we're doing, there is a second workshop in the office of Chartworld. They are not so fast like we. And we would like to connect us with my lovely colleague Ben. He's coming from Spaceship Enterprise. No. He's wearing a HoloLens, and what we're doing now, we are connecting him to our fleet operator. He's sitting in the fleet operator workshop 3, I think is the name. And we would like to demonstrate what is possible by using such technologies. What we did, for example, we did during Corona pandemic commissioning jobs worldwide. So the experts sitting in the headquarters and guiding peoples which are sitting on board during same view like he see, and that's exactly what also later on, if the colleagues in the headquarters are connecting to him, also see, and what is then possible that they can interact. So we have as well the audio stream, so we can get commands from the operator in the fleet center, and as well, what is also a little bit magic, you can see that he's drawing some signs in, that he is teaching him what he should do. He pins some plans into his screen area, so that he really have 2 hands to do his job. The task is, I think, to bring me some drinks, because I have spoken so much and I need a little bit, and I don't know where I can get drinks here, but that's our use case. second. I switched the audio on, I hope. Just a second, please. Sag mal was.
Ja, so Testfeld. Jetzt, andere musst den Fernseher.
Was nicht geht? Ah ja, okay. Black Magic it is.
Sag mal was, der Test.
It's always the demo case. I make the microphone here nearby him. Okay. So, and again, remember that's exactly what the colleague is seen in his script. The purpose is to get drinks from me.
Ja, also kein Ton, nach möglichst viel Bilder. I can hear you, but unfortunately our guest cannot, so please be as visual as possible. Yep.
Capabilities, and we're guests here and I'm happy to be with you. What we want to show you now is how we do remote assist. So we can help our customers who are on vessels across the world or maybe in factories. Myself, we have the department of the business unit of process solutions. So different verticals like marine, offshore, onshore, etc. But this, what we can see here, is especially very well for service on vessels, because we don't have to fly there to any harbor and visit the ship, but we can help our customers directly. And what we see now is our friend, he plays our customer, Ben, has the HoloLens on his head, so we can see what he sees. And Ben, this is an augmented reality device, so he can see a screen virtually in his field of view. And now we can ask him what's the problem that he has, our customer. So, hello Ben.
Hi Victor.
Hi Victor. Hi. So you called the Siemens Energy remote support. So what's the problem here on the vessel?
Yes, we have a very intense emergency. So my colleague Patrick just had a presentation on the World Actors Days, and I can tell he's very exhausted. desperately needs a refreshment. So is there any supply of water,
Okay, so
or anything on board?
Okay, let me check first. I have some plans from the ship, and we'll see how I can assist you here. So I will share my screen. And
Who's that?
that's an assistant. She will guide you and help us if we need to understand how the HoloLens works. But I want to use the ship now. So as you can see here on the small window, Ben also sees now what we see on the screen, what we share with him. He can see that. And as I can see on the ship, Ben, there's a bar in the what's the correct term?
The rear of the vessel.
The rear of the vessel. I'm not from Marine. I'm not from So, could you go there to the rear of the vessel and maybe to the bar?
Okay. So I will take you with me and unpin.
Yes.
And let's grab this.
Here, you can see what you see again. Stop sharing. Sorry, I stopped sharing, but we already found the right way.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so
Well, the good thing is that the screens are really following. And, you can pin the screens on the wall. He can get some more detailed instructions.
Can you see that on your side?
I can see, but unfortunately
We have to
this should work. I should be able to grab this.
We only have one half day of training. Maybe I can teach. It's easier. Okay. Try to grab it this way.
Well, that's, for example, an explanation. You know, they hear a PowerPoint. You have to follow the fridge. He pinned the fridge screen on the wall, and now he can see. I hope I can get water.
Yes, so what I found here is you have.
There's a question, yeah.
Yeah, just a short question. The most valuable idea we would have to do that, with this is to apply that in the engine room, of course. If you have some, I don't know, problems with the main engine or some kind of devices in there. Has that ever been tested there? Is that okay with all those interferences like the generators, the main engine, whatever you have?
Yeah.
Is that also working there with the glass?
Yeah, 100% sure. For example, we did it for the Carnival Corp. We did it for each cruise liner on board. So we have a Wi-Fi network in the engine room, and that's good enough to use the HoloLens. So what we did here, I just have my mobile phone here open on a 4G network, and that's enough to transfer audio and video and all these elements into the screen.
In the window, so that it follows you.
In case you don't have the Wi-Fi cover on the board, do you have options to bring your portable internet transmitter?
Yeah.
So just on
Yeah.
this fan,
Yeah. There's also a solution that you can get a small Wi-Fi equipment with you to get this internet connection. Without internet, it's not working.
Yeah, like this. Like now.
Like this. Good example. Huh? I think we. Yeah, we lost connection. No internet here
We show
anymore.
everything today.
But anyhow, I think now we are back. So, but I think you get roughly the capability of such things. We really do this for many clients of us, and that has to not be only linked to the machinery side as well. And that's something which we hope can demonstrate today also. So if you like to wear a Google, thank you for my drink. Without alcohol, good. If you like, you can also use the glass. so we can disinfect this, and then you can try it as well. There will be a colleague from ChartWorld on the other side, and he will guide you through the ECDIS system and teach you how to operate it. So it's what I would like to mention, this is not only related to machinery issues. You can also use it on bridge, for sure, not for
Why we said particular machinery? Because passenger ships is different, but for the cargo vessels, the machinery department, there are not too many routers, Wi-Fi's and everything. That is why for specific reason we mentioned the engine. Passenger ships is totally separate from the cargo vessels. So the cargo vessels, you don't have Wi-Fi routers on each deck in the engine room and all. So
I know.
If this technology, yes, like you said for ECDIS, suppose I install a new charting system and instead of sending a service engineer, he can do this and he can guide the second officer how to go about it. But then this technology can be used for other reasons as well. So that is why I said the Wi-Fi connection out here, 4G, 5G, is not what you get at sea.
I know. We are working on sea. We try it on sea to use the satellite capabilities, and the biggest problem on satellite is latency. So discrepancy between sending and receiving information. So it's always a little bit staggering, slower, but it's still possible. So we really do it on sea, on satellite communication links. But then it's not like real time like we do it now.
Yeah, well, obviously it won't definitely work because of the signal and all. Even for the fleet manager sitting somewhere outside, it will work when the vessel is at port.
Correct.
But if it's at sea or something, then there will be some drawbacks for this setup.
Sure. But that's maybe a good thing from Elon Musk, from Starnet, that we have in the future 5G all around the globe. And again, it's also not, our use case is really to use it in the harbor, not to transfer the technicians on board, traveling time, traveling costs, so we can help a lot of, or can solve a lot of problems just with this technology. I think same with the navigation technology possible. Medicine problems. No, there are ship operators which are asking, could we use this to connect a hospital, a doctor, to the crew on board, to help in medicine problems? And yes, it's at the end of the day, it's possible. Yes, that's from my side. I hope you enjoy it. You can see, so you can try it now, if you like. Whoever. We will later have it also in the hotel. We have there a small micro booth, micro fair, where you can as well play around. Then you can also see the eco-main system. We have also a demonstrator, so if you would like to use it, feel free to come with us and visit us. And I hope, again, I repeat me, you enjoy a little bit the presentation. Können wir noch mal? Huh?
Yeah, thank you very much, Patrick. I think let's say the proposition is quite clear, and the demonstration went, let's say, a little choppy. Yeah, but we have tested it before. This is typically live. We still have 20 minutes left before we are back on the quay, so I open up the floor for any questions, any discussions which you would like to get addressed. I will get around with the microphone that you can amplify your voice a little bit. Any questions? Any remarks? Is somebody here who wants to try the HoloLens itself?
Yeah, please.
To get the impression. You know, we have done this, or Siemens has prepared this with disinfection gear, and so they have done it before, even under COVID conditions, so that there shouldn't be any harm. Is somebody interested to play around with it?
Can I see you through my camera?
That's a good question.
We can try, but... Pardon?
Is it possible to see it through my camera?
Through the camera itself. So
We can try it.
der NDR fragt, ob man das über die Brille vor die Kamera setzen kann. Das versuch doch mal. Immerhin.
Yeah, you can make it from the screen of my laptop. So somebody would like to try. Everybody's afraid.
And get on television.
Yeah, do it. You have the chance to go to German television.
I want to test, but not with a physics.
Dino, then you have to do it.
Ja, ja, das erst infizieren.
Ja. Ihr seid aber nicht drin, ne? Sonst können wir das, ihr seid heute Nachmittag auch noch da, oder? Wolltest du noch was präsentieren? Sonst,